All right, what's up, boys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to go over the best Minecraft mods that make your Minecraft game go from basically boo-boo, vanilla, gross, to a beautiful game, basically a new game. It basically amplifies Minecraft and makes it a very nice experience. So I'm going to go through every mod that I use and the texture packs, the shader packs, everything. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Let me open up my mods here. First thing, I have Better Than Mending. This is a mod that basically allows you to mend the items in your inventory without getting XP. If you already have XP, all you have to do is click crouch and right click, and it'll use your XP to mend that tool. Very nice feature, really helpful. Next up, we have Camera Utils. This is a feature or a mod that basically allows you to use an external camera, so like this. And it also allows you to do stuff like overhead shots. Again, very nice, very cool feature to have. It just changes the way you play the game, I guess. Next up, we have Chunky. Chunky is a pre-generation mod. So it basically pre-generates chunks in the world. This helps with performance later on. So basically, if you start a new world and you just let Chunky do its thing for let's say a day, it does take a long time. It'll pre-generate all the chunks, so the lag spikes when you explore new areas will be gone. Very nice. If y'all want a tutorial on Chunky, let me know in the future. I'd be happy to jump into it and show you how to use it step by step. Next, we have Connectablechains. This basically just lets you connect chains to fences and walls. Pretty cool look. I do like the look. It looks pretty good. Next, we have Continuity. I believe this is just a support mod. Crystal Lib. I believe this is also a support mod, if I'm not mistaken. We have Diagonal Fences. This basically just lets you place a fence at a 45-degree angle instead of a 90-degree angle. Just adds some nice looks to the game. Next, we have Distant Horizons. This is a really cool mod. This basically lets you see terrain extremely far away. As you can see, looks very, very nice. And it is lower quality, but you can change that if you want to. It's this button right here. I have mine set to 300. Some people set this to like 4,000. You can go crazy with it if you have a good PC. I use my quality at high, and I have the whole paid for CPU as far as the load goes. Once it loads in, though, you can go back to minimal and save on some performance. But honestly, one of the best mods to Minecraft, really does add some explorability to the game, and it makes you feel way more immersed. Next up, we have Dragon Drops Elytra. This is a simple mod. The dragon basically drops an elytra when you kill it. Only reason I added this is because in my other Forever world, all of the elytras despawned due to a chest mod that I included. So wanted to make sure I had an elytra in this world eventually. So this is why I added this mod. Again, it's real. I only did it to be safe because last world I explored it for 15 hours and I never got one. Next, we have Dungeons and Taverns. Basically just adds structures to the world that aren't in vanilla. I think it makes it more explorable. We have Easy Elytra Takeoff. So instead of having to double jump with your elytra, you can just jump, use the rocket, and you can fly away. Just a nice little quality of life. We have Entity Coing. This is a performance mod. So basically, if you're looking straight ahead, the blocks behind you will not load in as far as you know. But before you turn around, they will load in. So it's really just a performance mod that helps performance in your game. And it's not really noticeable. So it's a nice thing to have. Next up, we have Falling Tree. This is a really nice mod. Very big time saver. Basically, if you have an axe in your hand and you just break one block on a tree, it will destroy the entire tree in one hit. Extremely nice, extremely efficient. Next, we have the Flashback mod. This is the mod I use to record all the overhead cinematic shots, and it's in the main menu. If you just click start recording, you will start recording, and if you go back to the main menu, you can press stop recording. It'll save a file, and then in the main menu of the game, you can go into it, and there's a little editor that allows you to manipulate like the camera angles, the camera position, etc., etc. Next, we have Geolic. This is just an overhaul to the vanilla overworld biomes. Just makes things more explorable. Very nice feature. Next, we have Hide Experimental Warning. This is nothing crazy, but sometimes at the main menu, you get an experimental warning thing. This just hides that. Incendium is a nether biome overhaul. Basically adds more structures and explorable places to the nether. I mentioned this in my last Forever World video where we went through the pipe dungeon. So just makes the nether more enjoyable to explore. I think it's very cool. We have Inv Move. This basically lets you move while you have your inventory out, as you can see. So very nice feature if you're running from a mob and you need to swap a weapon into your inventory. That is a beautiful mod to have. Next we have Aorus. This just allows you to use shaders with fabric. We have Jamlib. I believe this is a support mod. We have Leash Villager. This allows you just to leash villagers. Makes moving them so much easier. You don't have to put them in boats and try to finagle them around the world. Very easy, very convenient. I really recommend this mod. Next we have Lithium. This is just an optimization support mod. Litho Stitched. This is a support mod as well. We have Minecraft, the base game. We have mod menu. This is what you're seeing right now. Basically just gives you a mod overhaul of all the mods you have in the main menu. Modern fix, a support mod. We have mouse tweaks. This basically lets you manipulate your inventory a little bit easier. So if you want to, you can like hold shift and you can just drag all your items out of your inventory very quickly. Again, just a nice quality of life improvement. We have Noisium. This is a performance mod as well. Just gives you better gameplay. Ortho camera is the overhead angles like this. You can zoom in and out. Makes just more cinematic, I guess, if you want to show off your village or whatnot. Next, we have the physics mod. So this is a really cool mod. I will actually show you with the spider outside. So usually when you hit a spider, you know, he just falls down. Nothing crazy happens. But with the physics mod, as you can see, falls apart. Physics are actually a thing. You can move their body parts around before they despawn. Really just a cool feature, a cool mod to have. You can also, let me pull up the main menu. There's a lot of stuff you can change. You can also collapse blocks. So if you turn this on and you can set the number to whatever you want, you can basically break as many blocks as you want at one time. So very cool. So that island up there, for example, if you break one block and you have 5,000 blocks set to break, I mean, I imagine it'll either break most of it or a majority of that island in one hit. So this is a cool mod. You do have to be kind of careful. You know, if you're going mining with this, you can kind of cheat, I guess you could say, if you were using it. So it does take a little bit of self-control, but again, a very cool mod to have in the mod pack. Next, we have RightClick Harvest. This is a really cool mod. So if you have your crops, say you got some wheat that's fully grown, if you have your tools out and you just right-click, it will actually plant and harvest the crop at the same time. So you don't have to do both of those things at a different time. It's basically a time saver. Next, we have Shulker Toolbox tip. If you have a Shulker box in your inventory and you hover over it, it'll actually tell you what is in the box, so you don't have to place it down. Next up, we have Sodium. This is just a rendering engine, gives you better performance in Minecraft. We have Sound Physics Remastered. This makes the game way more immersive. So if you're in a cave, you'll hear echoes, it just sounds way more realistic compared to the normal vanilla Minecraft. We have Structury. This just adds random structures throughout the world, makes it more explorable. I think it is a very, very cool mod to add. I think it really expands the explorability of the game. We have Tectonic. This massively overhauls the world generation, gives you giant mountains. Very, very cool. We have Terlith, which basically gives you 100 new biomes in the game. Again, the red trees, the yellow tree forests, the purple tree forests, just makes things so cool, so overhauled. It's basically like playing a new game. We then have Towns and Towers. Again, this adds structures to the overworld. As you can see, we have a pillager outpost right there. It looks incredible. It looks so cool. We have another one out here in the distance. Let's see here. Yep, there's one. So yeah, just adds new structures to the game. Very cool. Makes it more explorable. I really do enjoy having just random structures that I can go see. And then lastly, we have Vanilla Refresh. All that I have found that this does, for me at least, is if you go to bed and you wake up and a new day comes, It basically gives you a nice little transition with a day counter on your screen. Makes the typing noises and everything. Again, just kind of makes it more immersive, and it's just a nice quality of life improvement. All right, now let's go through the resource packs. We have all the basic stuff that already comes with like the fabric mod and everything. I'm using Faithful 64X. This is a resource pack. It's its own resource pack in itself, but I use it in the instance where I just like the toolbar. It makes the tools and the item frames very modern looking, which I am a fan of. And then for the main resource pack, we are using Patrick's 256X. This just makes the textures look incredibly realistic. So as you can see, cobblestone, brick, everything looks very nice and detailed. I love the way it looks. And that's the main one that I'm using. They also have like a 32X, a 64X, a 128. So if it's too impact performing on your PC, you can go to the lesser detailed versions and it'll work just fine. We're also using complementary unbound shaders. These are probably one of my favorite shaders out there. I'm using the high profile just to save on some performance. And if you go to Ultra, it really does look phenomenal. I'm not going to lie, it looks fantastic. But if you have a PC that can't handle too much, which honestly Minecraft breaks so many PCs, it's crazy. I think the high profile will be great, but Ultra really does look so good. All right, boys, but that is all the mods that I'm using currently. I truly do think if you use any of these mods or all of them, it will change the way that you play Minecraft. I think it really amplifies the game so much. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment. I'd be happy to answer anything that you may have. If you want to find a mod, simply go to Google, type in the mod name, and I usually recommend the mod site Modarinth. I think that's the most reputable one out there, or at least one of them. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.